So this is about this Ryobi 18 volt batteries. The 18 volt batteries. Look at that. What is this? A saw. Look at it. An 8-inch cordless pole saw. Very long reach, angled head cutting, pruning and limbing. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to adjust the chain tension and how this works with the oil in there. That's what we see in this video. I want to show you how to set the chain tension, how to replace the chain, and how the oil thing works, okay? In order to show that, I'm going to remove this bolt here so that we can take the chain off and we can take a look at this whole thing. The good thing about this Ryobi saw is that even though this is a plastic piece, that up here, in here, this is all metal. Okay, we can take the chain off like this. And we have the chain tensioner here. So this little bolt here is going to move this bar back or forth and therefore tensioning the chain, okay? There's all over the place written in what direction you have to install the chain. It's up here in the plastic as well as on the bar. I want to explain to you how this works with the oil. If you've never had a chainsaw before, then you may be interested in that. We have a reservoir on this side where we can see how much chain oil we fill into the fill cap. There, in this hole we are going to put in special oil. It's not engine oil, it's chainsaw oil. It's for nature. It's not oil like regular engine oil, it's like biodegradable oil, the chainsaw oil. It has an opening in here with a filter system to let air in. We need to make sure that that is always clean and not clogged. If this is clogged, then there's no oil coming out. Okay, the oil will come out through this little hole here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little closer, maybe even more. There you see a tiny little hole that will spill out the oil that goes into this cavity here, and this rubber ring around this oval ring will prevent it from going all over the place. Okay, that's why we need to make sure that around this rubber ring that everything is super clean when we put it back together. Let's zoom out a little and look at the bar. The chain bar is installed here like this on here. And again, the oil what is in this area here, in this area, will enter the bar through this little hole here. You can see this little hole there. There's also a hole on the other side there. Okay, that's where the oil gets transported through. Okay, the oil on this side here, in this hole, actually in this case on this hole here, will enter the bar and it will go into this rail here. Okay, in this rail, your chain is going to transport it here. Pulled around. Okay, so let me put the chain on here without cutting myself. So the chain is traveling around, and now you see those teeth down there here. Those teeth will transport the oil all the way around the bar, and it will spray out there on this side, out of this hole again. Okay, now this hole on this side is blocked with this rubber here. Okay, again, we need to make sure that this rubber piece is super clean, because if there's like wood pieces in here, then the oil will spit out on the sides and leak in all over this area. So we don't want that, right? The oil is going to come out through this big hole here, okay? And that big hole is here where this bolt is, okay? And then from there it will go into this hole here, in this cavity. This cavity here, this will be, the oil will be transported in that. And since that cavity has a hole, an opening here on the side, that's where the oil will go, through this hole. It will come out. Okay? So that's where it will leak out. Now, if you park your saw over winter or wherever, you put it and you have it hanging like this, the oil will leak out through here, through this hole, and it will leak out. There is no way that it can, because it's all open. So I suggest when you put this away in storage, that you open this up and drain the oil out of it, and also have something laying underneath that can catch the oil that leaks out. Okay, that's a helpful hint. And so once you have that understood, then we can put the chain on, as it shows here in what direction. I'm going to show you here, maybe in the close-up, what is happening here. So in this bar, the chain runs in this bar, okay, and it has several knives on here. So this is a knife, that is a knife, here is a knife, and that is a knife. And you have to be careful that you don't cut yourself on those, right? So they are all alternating left and right, and that's where you shouldn't touch the chain. You touch in between here, where there's no knife. Yeah, this is just a little hook here. There, right there you can touch it, but where the knife is, be careful. Okay, we made sure that everything is clean here, and then we can put the chain over the sprocket. That's what they call sprocket. Sprocket. The sprocket is this thing. This is what the motor is spinning around, and the motor then is moving the chain around here. Right, so we put a little tension on there by pulling on the bar, right, and it all is here nice and fixed. And then we put this piece back on. We make sure that those two plastic pieces here fit in those oval holes, and the bolt, this bolt here, is going to go through here and fix this whole thing, right? Hold it in place. Okay, no. Let's see if we get it in the hole here. There. You can jiggle the bar around a little, like this. And again, this plastic piece too on the other side is super clean, so that the oil goes to the places where it's supposed to go. Okay, now we just tighten this a little. So we don't tighten it really. We just leave it in there that there's a little bit play here. As you can see, I can move this around a little bit. And then we check the tension of the blade here, the chain, right? So I can pull this down here. And as you can see, this 0.05 is how much you're supposed to be able to pull this down. And you see it's more in this case, right? So it would be like, this would be good. Now let me zoom in again. So I'm touching it between the knives, right here. Let me see this here. And then I pull down. You see how much space there is. So we need less. Less means we use the tensioner screw here and turn this clockwise a little. And then we check again. Oh, this is much better now. You see that? Much better. And then we tighten the screw here. And then you saw this is all plastic behind here, so don't tighten it too much. And then after we tighten it, we look again. Oh, it's pretty tight. Could be more loose. Well, I think it's okay. So, and then we try it out. And we do cut a limb of a tree. But don't forget to put the oil in. That's our next step. So we are going here for a test cut, and for the bar and saw chain oil lubricant, we use this steel stuff. I bought this long time ago. It's like a gallon of it. See, I paid $15.50 for it. And this company there makes the best chainsaws in the world, no questions. And we just use that. They have smaller bottles too. For this thing you don't need a large bottle like this. And as you see, you can always keep it clean so that you don't get any dirt into the chain there. Alright. So let's have a look at how we put this together. We have here the battery part with a handle and the starter. Then we have here an extension to make it extra long. And then here the saw part. And those have to be connected together. Now if we take a look here at the connection, this is the electrical connection. It's squared and one way only, so it only fits one way. So you have to find the correct position here in order to put it together. Take a look at how this works. So here, you plug this in all the way. Can you see that? And you get over this piece here. And tighten this as much as you can. And there you have your chain that's all ready to go. Okay. Battery wise, we can do different batteries. I do have here one, a smaller one, that doesn't have an indicator how full it is. And I have a larger one, a 4 amp one, that has a button here and you can see how full the battery is. It's heavier, and since the whole saw is already heavy enough, you want to go light. I mean, if you only cut one branch, you don't need the big one. Okay, so let's try ours here with a small battery. And needless to say, you remove those batteries when you work on the sharp end, on that end over there. Can we see this from here? But we didn't fill in oil yet, so let's do that first. So for safety reasons, we remove the battery. That's the good part in the battery operated device. When you remove the battery, nothing can happen to you. Oh, I'd get the camera on the other side, but you can see how the oiling mechanism works. Let's do this here. See that? I open this up and make room for some oil. I leak it too much. There it goes. It doesn't need much. In this case, I don't know how much I have here. I'm over the thing already. I have more in there than I need. Okay. So there may be some oil in the channel. Okay. There you go. And now I'm going to run this for a second. And we see if there's oil coming at the chain. On the internet they talk about how quiet this is. And see if there's any oil, so we can see this here. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's oil now. Let me try to move it closer. Yeah, here you see that. You see that drop of oil here up front? There you know that the chain is oiled. Okay, when there's oil coming out, and usually, so this stuff here, this is fluorescent. Stuff like this will glow in the dark when you have a UV light, and it sticks to the chain. It's sticky. It's like just good oil, right? And now we can start like cutting a branch. I'm gonna do this here, like this branch here. Let's see how that works. Okay. So, what do you think? Is that a clean cut? Here we have it. And there is the cut we made. Looks like a clean cut to me. And then we can see now how there's even more oil on here. A little bit dust, sawdust. And one thing you need to learn when you use a saw like this, do not use force. Do not bend it left or right. Let the saw do the work. Alright, so there we're gonna go now to a real tree and cut a real limb off.